is working now. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Windows, eh? Okay, here we go. All right, so we get back here, okay? So the important thing is, the first thing you need to do is you really need to set up the coordinate system, okay? That's important, and if you want to have heights related to the mean sea level, you need a geoid. Otherwise, you're going to get heights dependent on the ellipsoid, okay? Over here is where you configure your vessel, okay? And we said we were going to give it a vessel, was the name of multi-proof. Okay. And then we needed to add a vessel, and we were going to call it 1, and we were going to call it ASV, okay? And we were going to start from a fresh, and we said we wanted to a standard shape, and so we chose a shape of a small vessel, and then over here you can give the size of the vessel, okay? And once you've done that, you can have a look at the overview, okay? And I think the vessel seems to be underwater. Yeah. So, okay. It's just a standard shape, but the water level hasn't been set correctly. Okay, but that's fine. You can more or less see what we're talking about. And then we need to start defining this vessel and the equipment on it. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is, there are a couple of things that we would add. Okay? So, offsets. Okay? And these are the lever arms. Okay? That would come from your dimensional control. So the first offset that is always in here, and you cannot get rid of it, is called the 0 offset. Okay? You can't get rid of it. It's always there. But what I would do is, and I always suggest this, is that I would say the first thing I would add is an offset called IMU. Okay? And I would also make them 0, 0, 0. Because generally for these small vessels and these small installations, it's always easier and better to put the IMU as the reference point, okay? Because that is where the motion is being measured, that is where the position is coming from. So put the IMU as the reference point, okay? And if you install the sonar, the receiver, and the projector, and the IMU onto the standard plate, okay, the standard bracket that we provide, the black bracket, then the alignment of the IMU to the sonar is mechanically taken care of, and there's no angles of installation difference between the sonar and the IMU. So, and the offset is known, and I showed you that it's in the drawing, okay, from the sonar reference point to the IMU. That is known. So therefore, the IMU is always, in these situations, the best selection for the 0 point. Okay, so I always add that in because it just shows you, okay, that is where the IMU is. Okay, that is the center reference point. The other one that we would normally input in here then would be the sonar reference point. Okay. And this one we need to add some information for. So if I go back and get the manual, this one, T-Series, product manuals, ASV, and I open that, and I can close that bookmark as well. I don't need that. I know more or less where we are here. Right at the end. There we go. And
เนี่ยนี่เห็นไอ้ NVP ต้องติดตรงนี้
ไม่ใช่จอร์ดอันนี้มันของที่51
those are the values that we
อัน
want.
นี้มีไม่ติด
Okay?
มันติดไม่ได้
X is 0, Y is minus 91.1 millimeters, and Z is
มันเป็นของ51
minus
ที่ดูนะ
208.
ร้อยอย่างเนี้ย
X is 0, Y is minus 91.1 millimeters, which is 0.0911 meters, and then Z is minus 208.4 millimeters, which is 0.2084
SVP ไม่เป็นไร
meters.
ยังไงก็ได้
Okay,
มัน
because everything here is in
ไม่เฉ
meters.
ย
So
ๆนี่กล่อง51
so this is the sonar reference point. Okay, all right. It's the point that the sonar uses from which all the sonar observations are made. Okay, all right. But that is the offset. It's well known. That's the standard bracket, that black bracket. Okay, and that's the receiver. Okay, that's the projector underneath, and that's the IMU on top. We know these, okay? We know these very well, okay? So, we go back here. X is 0, Y is minus 0.0911, and Z is
นายโทรหาคุณแบบ
0.2084.
พี่โทรหาพี่ยินแบบ เขาเป็นคน
Okay.
คอเซชั่น
And that's all we need, okay?
เจน
That is all we need.
ให้ใช้
Okay.
ของพวกนี้อะไรที่ใช้คอร์
The offset to the lever arm to the antennas would be in the planix. A planix is going
เตอร์
to
ได้เลย
output all of its information
มันต้องรอ
at that point there, 000. Okay? We in PDS only want to transfer that to there. There's one other thing you would want to put in as well, and that is you would want to add in your LiDAR.
จิ้มหรือเตอร์
Okay? And I don't know what your offsets would be there.
ไม่ก็ของยูเซอร์
Let's just call them 1.
มันได้อะ
เพราะว่ายูเซอร์เขาอะมัน
No, it won't be 1.
เขาปรับแก้
Let's call that 0.
ถ้าเกิดว่าเป็นแบบ
Let's say it's up in the air. So let's say that from there and there is 0.5.
แบบดูอย่างเดียวอะ
No, let's make the height 0.5. And Y, let's just say it's 0.25 forward. Okay, all right.
เส้นข้าง
Just made it up. Okay, all right. And if you go and look at the overview now, okay, except for the fact that our boat is still underwater. Okay, right.
อืม
We can actually see these points. Okay, so if you click on this, okay, that's the IMU. That's the sonar reference point. There's something wrong there. That's upside down. And there's the LiDAR. So there's something wrong with that sonar reference point. So it should be below the IMU. Okay, so
แซดวายต้องดูแกนวายติดลบเปล่าต้องติดลบ
it'll be negative.
แย่
จะรู้ได้ไง
Okay,
นะ
and that's why this little diagram is very
ศู
useful
นย์ศูนย์เป็นระดับ
because
น้ำ
you can go and look at it and you can say,
อืม
yeah, that sounds about right. Because if the IMU is there, the sonar reference point should be there. That's correct. Also, it should be forward. Okay? Because the IMU sits at the back, so it's not quite correct.
แม่นยำมาจากพวกคอนเซ็ปต์
And this is obviously the difference between a Planix coordinate system and this coordinate system. Okay? The definitions of the coordinate system are in there, in the manual. Okay. Back. Let's do the overview now. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Okay. The LiDAR is up here somewhere. If you had the GPS in here, it would be probably somewhere there or somewhere there. I don't know. Depends on where you put it on the boat. That's the IMU. That's the sonar reference point. That's the LiDAR. But the point is, you can look at the sketch, you can look at this and you can say, okay, that looks right. Obviously, the last thing you want to do here is you want to have a look at the draft of the vessel. At the moment, it's 0. The sea level is at 0, what's the draft, 0.5. The sea level above the center of gravity point, it says it's 0, so it puts it right at the center of gravity point. So, I'm just trying to make up something this is going to be useful. You are still there, because you're very quiet. Okay. Right. Anyway, the boat's disappeared even lower. Okay. All right. I mean, it's kind of a little bit fiddly when you try to make these systems up out of your head. But you get the picture. Okay. You need to configure the vessel here, and you have a handy little thing there to be able to check. It's a surface vessel, so you tick that. And then you say, okay, next. This is the most important thing here. Okay, so can I get some acknowledgement that you are still with me? Hello? You're muted.
Hello?
Okay. All right. Okay. This is the important part here, because this is where you configure. This is where you configure the equipment. Okay. All right. So we configured some lever arms and some positions. Okay, where various bits of equipment is. Now we need to tell PDS what sort of equipment it's going to get. Okay. Now PDS is pretty good at this with the Teledyne equipment, because you can go down here to something called multi-beam all options, and then if you look at the specific drivers that you can find down here, there's loads. Okay? Okay, so what you're looking for here is something with a POSMV INS system. Okay? So a Reson CBAT T series, which this is a T20 ASV POSMV INS. Okay? It's not a dual head. Yeah, so this is the one we will select. And if we add this, okay, you can see immediately. It'll give you the multi-beam, the sonar image, the snippets. If you don't have calibrated snippets, in other words, if you don't have a normalized backscatter license, untick that. You don't need it, because you're never going to get it, okay, without a license. It can always be added if they do decide to buy a license. Side scan, water column, okay. If they have no need for water column, untick it. Okay, then at least they won't be able to accidentally record it. It's a lot of data. Okay, the positioning system is there, and heave and everything is in there. Okay, so if you add this now, it'll automatically populate everything there. Okay, so now you can see all these systems
ใช่
have been
นั่นแหละ
added.
เข้ามา
And not only that, it has created all of these ports. Okay? Alright? So all of these things are automatically created. Okay? The next thing to have a look at is this. If you have a look at your positioning system, and if you double click on that, okay, we need to tell it which its offset is to use, okay? And in our case, it'll be the IMU, okay? For the positioning, it's the IMU, okay? The compass, that's the heading, that won't have a point. The motion, that certainly will have a offset point to use. And again, it's the IMU. And I know the zero offset and the IMU are the same, but I always change it to that because it enforces and it concretes the idea that the IMU is the reference point. Okay? And the multi-beam, okay, over here, it's not the 0 point. Multi-beam is the sonar reference point. So you would change that. Okay? And then the one thing that we haven't got in here, and then all of these don't have, because they all come from the sonar, and this will come from the POS. But the one thing we don't have from here is the LiDAR. Okay? So we need to go and add the LiDAR to this. No, now I need to try and find it. Laser scanner. Okay?
Laser scanner.
And then we need to find the correct laser scanner. And
ออบเทคแสดงว่าเขาลง
I don't think I have your driver in here because I don't think this is the latest one because you have to have the latest version to have
เดี๋ยว
the
เขา
right.
ไม่มี
Do you know? Do you remember what it was called?
โปสเตอร์ไรได้
Your particular laser scanner?
we have
Is they
we have Oster Rider
Oster, yes, yeah. I don't have it in here because I don't have the driver in here because it's not in this version of PDS. But in the version of PDS, you will have, it should have that in. If it doesn't, then you just get the latest version of PDS. You can download that; it'll have it in.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it'll have the driver in it for it because they wrote the driver for you. But I'm probably on an older version of PDS. Okay, so yeah, let's just say it was an Optic. Okay, that's the last one that I ever used. But you would then add that as the laser scanner. Okay, it would add that in. All right. In this case, you would have to set up the port. Okay, and you would have to come here and you would have to add the port name and configure the port as to where the LiDAR data was coming from. Okay. All right. And then once you've done that, you would also have to go and choose the point that the LiDAR is coming from your and that would we would have sit in there. Then everything is set up. Okay. If your system is live and operational, you can use this device test. Okay, to test. Okay. Whether your data is coming through. I don't have any data. I'm not simulating any data or anything. So you won't see any green ticks here. Okay, just these red crosses. Okay. So, and that will tell you if everything is running the way it should be running. Okay.
Okay.
okay
Look, I can say to you now, by no means, okay, will this be the last time that you will require help. Okay, I'm just trying to get you into some sort of frame of mind that you understand that there are some steps here to follow. Okay? Number one, you've got to start off with the hardware equipment. Okay? You've got to install that on the boat. Then you've got to configure that equipment. Okay? And the first bit of equipment you want to configure is going to be the Planix system. That's your navigation system. That's the system that's going to measure all your motion, your roll, pitch, yaw. It's going to measure your heave, and it's going to give you your position. Okay?
Okay.
So you need to configure that, and you do that in your web browser. It's the AP Plus. Follow the information through the manual. Okay?
Okay.
It's there. You just have to follow it through the manual, and it'll tell you how to set all of that up. Okay? You will obviously have had to measure the dimensional control. Okay? I've given you a short document to explain to you what dimensional control is. All right? And what you are doing when you measure dimensional control. Okay? I don't know what your backgrounds are. I don't know if there are any surveyors on this chat that we are talking to. But if there is a surveyor there, then the surveyor will be quite aware of coordinate systems and quite aware of three-dimensional systems. Okay? And the problem with this is that this, or not the problem with this is, but the thing to note with this is that this is a dynamic system. This system moves. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So it is very important to get these lever arms correct. Okay? If you don't, you will just multiply the error. Okay? Because that's what happens when you get it wrong. Okay?
Okay.
And you will see this in the data on the sea floor. Okay? You will look at the sea floor and you'll say there are bumps in that sea floor that don't exist. And that is what we call motion artifacts. Okay? That's because your lever arms are incorrect. Okay? And it's imposing this motion into the sea floor that is not there. Okay? It's creating features that don't exist. It's important. Okay, so you start there with the dimensional control, the installation, the dimensional control, the configuration of the Planix system. Test that, make sure it works, do some logical tests to say, yes, that's right. Okay, I am where I think I should be. Then from there onwards, you move to the SUI, okay, and then you configure everything in the SUI. You put the boat in a tank of water, okay, and you let it ping away. You probably won't get a decent bottom because the tank will be too shallow, and it'll be echoing off the walls because it'll all be hard plastic or whatever it is. Okay, but that's fine. At least you know the system's working. At least you know that you can see something. At least you know it's pinging. At least you know that there's data flowing to the correct ports in the correct places. Okay, at least you have a look at the SUI and you look at the service tab, and you can say everything is green. That is fine. Okay? If it's not green, if it's red, there's an error. Then you need to go down there. It'll point you to the error. That's what it does. It says this is the error here, and it highlights in the schematic drawing. Okay, on the left-hand side of the service tab, it highlights exactly the area where the problem is. Okay, in red, and that shows you that. And that's where you pay your attention, and that's where you sort that out. Okay? Once you have that sorted out, and you know that's working, then you're coming into PDS. Now you're trying to make sure that you can collect data. You have to configure the system in PDS. Okay? Remember that when you configure this in Planix, position and motion is going to come from the IMU. Okay?
Okay.
All right? But now you need to tell PDS that as well, okay? Right? And that's just what we did here with the equipment. First of all, in PDS, you want to tell it what the vessel is, how it's going to be set up. You want to tell it more or less where the water level is. It all depends. I mean, if they're going to be using RTK corrections, okay, and GPS and RTK corrections. The water level is not that important, okay, because the height is coming directly from the GPS, okay?
Okay.
But if they don't have RTK corrections and they're just using raw GPS, the height's not going to be accurate enough. And then they're going to be able to, or then they're going to want to work from the surface, from the water level. So then they're going to need to have tide data, okay? If you're going to work from the water level, and if tide data is important to you, you need to, in PDS, set up where the water level is on the boat, okay, correctly. You can only do that when the boat's in the water with all the equipment on it and you know where the water level actually is, okay? But you need to configure that, okay? Because then you can say, okay, well, I use the GPS to give me the position and give me the heading and all the rest and everything else. But, and I use the motion to correct for all my motion artifacts, and the lever arms are correct and everything. But my final height is going to come from the tide, okay? If I go here to position from geog, okay? Okay, if I go here to reference point computation, okay? All right, and I see here, what is my height source? Okay, I can select, is it GPS, okay? Or am I coming from the tide? Okay, so, all right, if you're going to come from GPS, RTZ, okay, which is real-time kinematic, okay, corrections, then you click that, okay, and you tell that. But, I mean, by this time, you'll have asked for support numerous times already. So, yeah, I mean, there's one way of doing this, and the long and hard way is try to do it remotely. Okay? The easier way and the better way is to have somebody from Teledyne come out and help you and show you and spend 4 days or a week with you, okay, and set the system up and train you properly how to use it. But that's going to cost you money, okay? All right? But you have to decide, about that. These systems are not simple. This is not single beam, okay?
Yeah.
All right? All right? This is multi-beam, okay? There's a lot going on here. So, but the thing is, you will know when you get there, okay? At the moment, you don't even have a boat yet, okay? So, I think you need to get a boat, you need to get this sorted out, and you need to get it installed, and you will be asking for assistance, okay, numerous times. And I hope that kind of I've shown you now that, your steps through this. Because once you've done all of this, once all of this is set up and correct, and you've finished all of this, okay? Yeah, I don't want to cancel that and just say next, 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 finish, okay? Next, next, next. I mean, this is the whole system, that all these next, this is exactly what the wizard takes you through, okay? Once you've done all of that, okay, you still need to go and tell the system that you need it timed, okay? You need to time synchronize everything, okay? So you need to click this, enable clock synchronization, and then you need to select how we synchronize. And how we synchronize, okay, all right, is with the Reson systems, with the CBATs, is we use synchronization directly through the 7K IO module. And all you do is you click that, you come here and you select, okay, what you call it, the IP address, okay, all right, for the system, okay, which will be 10.11.10.1. Okay? That's the IP address for the sonar. You select that because it is synchronizing with the IO module. And the IO module is getting its timing from the Aplanex system. And the Applanix system is taking its timestamp and its time from GPS. Okay?
Okay.
And once that is all synchronized, okay, and ready to go, okay, then you can go into real time. And that is a whole training course on its own. So there's a lot to deal with. And I don't think this is the last time we will talk. Do you have questions?
ให้เขาลองคอนเนคตรงนี้
Can you try to connect in Sonar UI?
To your Sonar UI?
Yeah, my Sonar UI, my software.
Yes, I can.
ถามออเตอร์
We've tried this before, but can you try to share your screen and see if I can take control?
Yeah, it have a new password again.
Alright, that's TeamViewer, but with TeamViewer and this running at the same time, it's very difficult.
Share
It's so
screen.
slow. Yeah, share screen. We try to do it through this.
Mm. แล้วเรากดเองฮะ
ใช่
ปิดไปเลย
Okay. Fine. You see?
Okay. I see it, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Go to the drop down menu where you see the little drop down with the IP address.
IP address.
Yes, 10.11.10.1. You see it?
Oh, yeah, see it. 10, 11, 10, 1, yeah.
Go to the drop down. Go to the drop down. There's a little down arrow there. No. Right next to it.
Top down. What is top down?
Go to.
Do you see this? Can you see my cursor?
Cursor.
ขวามือที่เป็นลูกศรใช่ไหม
Okay. I'm going to ask for control. Okay? Now, when I ask for control, you will get a little message that says, I've asked for control. Then you need to say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I've requested control.
Okay, only give.
Okay, so you've given control.
Yeah. It can?
It does not work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go to the IP address.
Yeah, IP
With your
address.
cursor.
Yeah.
No, stop control. Yeah. Okay, now go, just slide your cursor to the left. Go to the left, go to the left. You see the little block there that's highlighted blue with a little down arrow in it? Yes, tick that one. Okay, it's offline. So it's not turned on. The system's not turned on.
Yes. So now it turn
Okay,
on.
so no,
Oh.
because you need to power it up. Now if you go further to the right, right to the end, more to the right, to the right, sorry, to the left, my mistake, to the left, to the left.
So it.
Other way.
Operation
Other way. No, not operation.
ใจเย็นไหม
Okay, yeah, sorry. you moved and you confused me. To the right. On the far right, there's a little cog. Next to the eye, you see the key, you see the question mark, the key, the eye, and the cog.
Yeah, it's freezing. Okay. It's key.
Oh, now go to the cog.
Cog.
Go to the cog. To the
Yeah.
right. One more. That one. Push.
Gear.
Okay.
All right. Now you see down here it says sonar system. Go wake up and click. Click the wake up.
Wake up. Okay.
Now tick and go okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now go and push the service.
Service. Okay.
Now let's wait and see if it wakes up.
ลองตื่นไหม
It might wake up. My throat is dry.
Yeah.
เสียบสายโอเค
ไม่เห็นเบรกอัพ Yeah, it not wake up.
It's not waking up. Okay, you'll have to power it on manually. Okay, push the button.
Yeah, already input the battery.
เดี๋ยวพัดคอมอะไรหรอบอกคุณดูบัตทอม is
It
blue
a blue-
color like
Blue status now.
เป็นค้างเลยเหรออ๋อ
โอ
โอ
เค
เค มาแล้ว
Okay,
Right, here we go.
it wake up now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And it's starting up, so it hasn't initialized yet.
Sound velocity no data
อืม
transmit module อ๋อ
Yeah, but it's not connected.
Yeah,
Go to the.
already green.
now
Yeah.
it's connected. Yeah, so it's still booting up. You need to give it a chance to boot up. Okay. So everything's green except the I/O module because you've got nothing configured in the I/O module.
Oh, okay.
And that's because you haven't got the Planning system configured yet.
So is everything is okay, right?
Nothing wrong with it. You need to go back and configure the Planning system first. And then you follow the instructions in the manual, and then it'll take you to the I/O module, the SUI, and to set up everything here.
Oh, okay. So if everything is green, it another second it will gonna be
If everything's green, it's good.
Okay.
okay.
I'm looking at this here, and the only thing that's red is the I/O module, and if you read there, it says sensors, sonar, sound, velocity, error, no data, time, error, no data.
Okay.
Okay?
And if the end user have some question, I can give the email to the customer, send the question to your team.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
The email, the customer can come directly to us, and we will support the customer. Yeah.
Yeah, many thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when we need to shut down, click the shut down, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shut down.
Okay.
Shut down.
Tick shut down. Okay. Yes.
What happen if we don't shut down before we close?
It's always best to shut down. Okay? All right? Don't just pull the power. You shut it down. The best way to shut it down is like that in the SUI. After that, you can push the button to shut it down on the ASV. Okay? But don't just pull the power. If you pull the power, and the system is still busy is writing to the parameters file or something like that, because the system does that. It constantly writes to the parameters file. You can corrupt things. Okay.
กดแล้วเปิดอะไร
Okay.
Okay.
In which case, you'll be calling us to sort it out.
Okay.
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 Okay, so when we have the question, I will send you to email to you.
Correct.
Okay. Many thank you and a happy new year.
Thank you, and to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. See you next time.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 คุยกับอาจารย์ไหมเนี่ยอาจารย์เอาอาจารย์ไปแล้วเหรอ
ไปยังพี่เบิร์ดสวัสดีครับพี่เบิร์ดยังอยู่ไหมครับพี่
ไปแล้ว
ไม่ได้จอดแล้ว
เรียบร้อยแล้ว
กดเซฟ